It's the Digital Board Gamer here with our week in review for the first week of November. We got several updates, 6 betas, and 2 full releases. So let's get going. First, our release on Friday, Castle Combo here, was actually just an update with 12 new cards. It's a little tiny expansion for the game. You can see here on BGA, I got a picture of the 12 cards. But there's not a whole lot to it. Basically, each character has a little lock, and when you place them down, you're going to put a key on it, and then you can use that ability once. Overall, it adds more replayability, which is always a good thing. If you play Cardia added with Deck 2, there's a couple of locations you can now play with, so it adds a little bit more replayability there. And then lastly, if you like Strategic Reserve or 420, both those games got a shadow launch, so they're full release now. Now, our first beta, Challengers, actually just another update, but this is in a separate game, so it doesn't break the current one. But as my understanding, there are 2 new things here. There are the trainers that you can turn on, and then there's a draft form. There's the alternate, where pretty much you get 7 cards, which I believe you get 5 as the default. That's really the only things that I can see has changed. If you're a fan of Challengers, the draft format is an official variant, so be curious to see what people think of that one. Then we have Trickerous, a trick-taking game about not getting too close to the sun. So in this one here, you're trying to get the most points up on this track without hitting the sun. If you hit the sun, you actually go down to the back to the bottom underneath the last player. But you're going to be leapfrogging over each spot can only be occupied by one person. So if red wins the trick, they'll actually jump over and so on. Overall, it's an interesting take on trick taking. You're trying to win tricks, but not win too many. As well as you can see, cards are double-sided, so you'll be flipping cards over as well, playing them on both sides as well. So overall, a game I'll definitely be playing a bit more, because I'm a huge fan of trick taking. Then we have Amoraix. Amoraix is a abstract strategy 2-player game. In this game, you're trying to get one of your pieces to the center here. You're going to move one of your pieces, and they can basically slide if the path is clear. And then I believe if the path is not clear, then they move like knights and chess. And then you're just trying to reach the center. Then we had Massiverse, another 2-player fighting card game. So you see you have life points here. You also have some energy. As you bring up energy, you're going to add more cards in your hand. It's almost rock, paper, scissors, because cards in your hand you see there execute if you can defeat an enemy if they play that sun symbol. So then if your character up here plays their rest, you can actually defeat them by that and win the game. And there's other cards down here that counter more attack cards, but you're just basically each playing a card, putting it down, flipping it over, see what happens. So if you're a fan of these 2-player battle games, check this one out. Then we have another dice game by the same creators, 420 and Strategic Reserve. Now, I will lead off, like I say, this is probably my favorite of the 3 so far. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll the dice, and you're going to select one dice to put it in. Now, me picking the 6 was absolutely horrible. We were trying to learn as we play. You probably want to start with one of the middle numbers, because what you're going to do is add a dice, and then you're going to put all your dice away. And your opponent rolls, they add a dice. And then if you're able to continue the run, you can continue. My opponent there can add the 6, and then basically you're just trying to get a straight. 1 through 6. And you can see there I was able to add multiple down. Now there is a cool mechanism where you can like take your opponent's dice away, but at the end of the day it's just a simple dice game. But if you like these dice style games, go ahead and check that one out. And lastly, the biggest beta of the week, Movers and Shakers. This is a train card game. It is currently on Gamefound, I believe. So you can try it out here. Then if you like it and if you want to buy it physically, you still have a couple weeks to do that. This is one of those games that I love turn-based because there's so few turns. Each round, you're going to be playing 6 cards down here, and there are only 2 rounds. So there's 12, maybe a little bit more with the start, 13, 14 turns in the whole game. So this one works really well turn-based. Might even be a little bit better because you don't have to sit there and wait for your opponent to decide what they want to do. But in this one, you're going to have a hand of cards. You're going to be putting them on these little spots. You can either choose the top or the bottom action, and you're going to load goods, move goods around. They're going to be put on these towns, and you're going to be moved from this town to this town. You can see there how that interacts. And you do actually have to push trains out of your way, which is a really cool mechanism. So if blue keeps going here, he's going to have to push the red train out of the way. Really cool system because you can load up 2 or 3 of your trains if you get them in the way of each other and move them all with one movement. Quite a bit of fun. Then the scoring really comes down to here. You have these little tokens, and these are multipliers. And these are each a type of good, which are on these contracts. And you're just trying to get the highest multipliers on there. It's actually quite a bit to this game. It's definitely not a lighter game by any means, but it's actually not that difficult once you watch the video and understand it. Definitely, if you like a little bit heavier of a game, I think you should check it out. And I think it's really cool that we're getting some heavier games on BGA. And this is really cool, getting it before it even gets funded on Gamefound, because if there's any like huge mistakes, they're going to get all this data from all these digital games, and they can help balance the game quite a bit. I know a lot of games do that on Tabletop Simulator, but having it rule-based and on BGA, I think, is a lot easier for most players. On Monday, our full release was the King of the Woods. The King of the Woods, a card game, kind of take that game. Really basic game. You're going to have a hand of cards. When you put characters in front of your court, you're just going to look at this symbol here, the points. That's how much influence you get. That's how much you need. That's your kind of your points. You're basically trying to get, like in this game, they're trying to get 42. If you put a card in front of an opponent, say I was to put this in front of my opponent, you actually activate the ability. So we would exchange hands. They would, of course, get the 6 influence, but it's kind of an interesting system. You know, I like the trader. I put the trader in front of my opponent. They have to give me a higher card than the one I give them. They do get 1 influence, but I get to steal one of their higher cards. So I'm exactly here. So the trader just got played. They give him a card. They have to give him a higher card. One thing that I found helpful is on the right-hand side here, there's a list of how many cards are in the set. And then, of course, there's always cards pulled aside. But if you like simpler card games, check this one out. Then on Wednesday, we had Tag Team, a auto battler deck builder game for 2 players only. So first, this is the drafting format. Once you play it once, the drafting's quite a bit of fun. So you're going to basically just pick one fighter you want. Down in the how to play area, there's a really cool fighters guide that kind of explains what each of them do. But you're going to draft 2 fighters. Each of you draft one, and then you draft another. And then you're going to fight. Each card, as you see in the top left here, this is this character's card and this character's card. And you're going to be adding cards to the deck. But the interesting thing is you do not actually shuffle the deck. So the deck stays in the same order for the most part, but you get to add 1 card per turn into your deck. And you can add them in any order. So here I'll show you how this works. So first we're going to have a first round of battle. So it's going to skip over the battle really quick because I hit the wrong button. But basically, you're going to go through both cards. They'll auto-resolve. Then after that round, then we begin a new round. Like I said here, you draw 3 cards. You're going to add them in. Here, I chose to add it at the bottom. And then we're going to have another round of battle. It's going to be the same order minus the new card added. So I don't know where my opponent put in his card, but we will find out here shortly. And then we're going to revolve the battle. So you flip over 1 card. Then you flip over the next card, and then the final card. And then you just keep going back and forth. Your health is listed here. Once one of the 2 characters gets the KO, that side loses. So here, this card allows me to attack. I'm going to damage this character with this icon here. So whoever's turn it is that your opponent's flipped over is who you're going to be damaging. Might be a game that's better real time just because of the trying to remember where exactly each card is. Oh, their 3rd card was an attack. Okay, I'll put my block there now. You know, that would be a lot harder to remember turn-based. For the pick of the week, I'm going to pick Tag Team. It was really close between movers and shakers. I think I'll just get more plays of Tag Team. I've yet to even explore half the characters, and they do mention in their little description when the game gets released, these are all the characters for now. So it'll be really cool to see more and more characters. Reminds me a lot of Smash Up back in the day where you take 2 decks and smash them together. That's exactly what this feels like in a much quicker, streamlined version. I get games go really fast. I've only played a couple games that have lasted the 6th, 7th round. Usually by 3, 4, 5, they're all over. I did get one game with Roland Reggie in, and we actually got up to like the 6th or 7th round. I got this amazing combo where I healed, I think, 6 on my golem. This brought me all the way back up and added more power cubes to him. And when you have more power cubes, his attack does a lot more. So I was able just to finish him off with the golem because he was able to heal so much. So quite a bit of fun for sure. Well, I've been the Digital Board Gamer. As always, good luck and have fun.